was in my 50s. My first ship was the Vela, and it was in the 90s sometime.
And what type of ship was it?
It was a dredge. It was the old Geopotes.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was renamed the Vela.
Yeah. And what sort of a dredge was it? Bucket? Side? Trailer suction, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so,
yeah.
I was trying to think, yeah.
And how many was in the crew on that?
Well, to be
roughly?
honest, I think there was 20-something on that.
Oh, yeah.
On that one.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
It was only small. Yeah.
And what made you choose going to sea?
Well, I've always loved ships and always wanted to go to sea. And then I was down in Victoria and they couldn't get a cook for it, and John and Dick Ryan put me on there.
So that's John Higgins, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, right. And when you were on the Vela, what were the conditions like there? How long did your hours of work in your leave system and how much did you get paid?
Oh, well, we got paid good money.
Yeah.
I roughly remember how much. And it was 6 weeks on, 6 weeks off, I think.
Oh, yeah.
That was Melbourne Port Authority owned it at the time.
Yeah.
Galley was very, very small, very primitive.
Yeah.
Crew were great. The second cook, oh, mate, my first day there, I went up to the bridge and I rang Pat and Richard and I said, come and get me, I want to come home. Because all he did was shout, and then they told me he chased a cook with an axe once. And anyway, Richard said to Pat, leave her there, she'll settle down. Frank will look after her. Yeah. And yes, I did settle down.
Yeah,
Loved
right.
it after that.
And what did you start on there as? What were you?
I started on as chief cook.
As chief cook there? And what were your duties there?
Well, Ivan didn't let me do any washing up, that's for sure. He done all the washing up and helped me prepare, and I did the cooking.
Yeah, right.
Actually used to go out at the guys, they'd be going home of a Friday and they'd be taking my cooking home, and he was going there because he was losing the plates.
Yeah. And well, you started off as the top of the heap there. Did you keep as chief cook, or did you...
Except the last ship I was on, Gecko Angular, I was second cook on that.
Oh, yeah, right. And the rest of them you're all chief cook, yeah. So roughly, as I said, your first one was a dredge, but your last one doesn't sound like it was a dredge. What was it?
It was a seismic ship.
Oh, yeah.
It was Norwegians.
Yeah, right, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's good.
Had one Polish fella, quite a few Americans.
And what was the difference in working conditions between her and the Vela, the dredge?
Oh, the conditions were a lot better on the seismic job.
Yeah.
It wasn't primitive, it was a brand new ship.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Only thing, we had to share cabin, the stewardess and I, Inga, a friend of mine, and it was very, very small.
Yeah, right.
But everything else, it was a lot better than the Vela.
Yeah, right. And what other types of ships and that you was on?
I was on another dredge, the Volvox Delta.
Oh, yeah.
That was owned by the Dutch.
Yeah. And
I had a huge cabin on that.
Yeah.
Huge cabin. And the conditions on that were pretty good.
Is that the one that one of the skippers on the tugs on one? Chris Stockmore was on. Was he on the Volvox Delta?
Yes, yeah, Chris was on that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And Mark, I forget his last name.
Yeah.
Lives in Melbourne.
Yeah,
he
right.
was on there as well.
Yeah.
He was on the Vela with me as well.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. And you're also on the Wallara or something, wasn't it?
Yes, I only relieved on the Wallara.
Yeah. And what type was she?
That was carried coal to Catherine Hill Bay from Newcastle.
Oh, yeah. And what was that like as a job?
Great. Only 15 crew.
Yeah. And how long did you relieve on that for?
Only a month.
And couldn't get the job there, eh?
I could have had the job there at one stage, but I'd hurt my arm and I was on compo when I was offered that job.
Oh, right, yeah.
But I was kicking myself after that, I didn't have it, because after that I relieved on it and it was great.
I know this probably sounds like a silly question to ask, seeing you're the cook, but a lot of ships I was on, the cooks felt that the food that they were being sent by the ship owner or by the providers wasn't up to standard, and they'd send it back. Did you ever come across that?
Well, on the Volvox Delta, when we picked it up, it had all overseas fish on it.
Oh, yeah.
And we dumped a lot.
Yeah.
Dumped a lot. Didn't use none of it.
Yeah, yeah. But all in all, they sent you pretty good tucker than that.
Oh
then.
yes, yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Yes, on all of them, even the Vela.
Oh yeah, right. And what did the ship owner provide in the way of your safety gear, your working gear, anything like that?
Well, I brought all my own uniforms, and I brought all my knives myself.
Yeah,
but I started on the Vela with nothing.
Yeah, right. Over the years, because years before you sort of worked in a pub where a lot of seamen knocked about, so you would have come across a few characters in that there.
Lots and lots of characters.
And you can't use me as one either.
Lots and lots.
Who do you recall? Any off the top of your head?
Oh yes, Peter Smith, Mad Dog from Port Kembla.
Yeah.
Johnny Gallagher, the Gallagher boys.
Yeah.
And all the Newcastle crowd, I've known all them because I was married to a seaman.
Yeah, yeah. There's also a bloke here, I don't know, he tells a story that you're his second wife or something. What's his name?
Joey Patterson.
That lunatic, yeah.
Well, that come about that his wife and I are like sisters, and he'll either speak to her and I answer, or vice versa.
Yeah.
And he says it's like having two bloody wives, so he calls me his platonic wife. And he travelled round Australia with both of us.
Yeah.
Very game boy.
Oh, very game boy, yeah. Any other characters you've met sort of spring to mind?
Oh heavens, there was heaps of them I've been talking about today, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah. And when I asked you, you forgot them.
Yeah, now you're asking me, I've forgotten them all. Well, there was lots and lots in Port Kembla. I knew nearly all them. Very close friend of Tyndale's.
Yeah.
Mark Armstrong. Even Paddy Crumlin. I knew him. As he's told one of the other union officials from another union that I looked after him from his first ship at sea till his last.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So that was my affiliation with a lot of them.
Yeah. In your time at sea, you would have had some good times and some bad times. Off the top of your head, can you remember any of them?
Yeah, on the Vela, we were coming up the river to berth in Melbourne, and Mark was screaming out from to empty the ballast. He said, we're 14 degrees over, and I was up on the bridge at the time, and I said, I better go down and get me diamonds. Yeah. And he said, well, if your diamonds, you're staying here. Yeah. And on the Volvox Delta, that was on a really bad list, and they're telling me to get my life jacket on, but it righted itself. Yeah. Thank God, because I can't swim stroke. But the boys said, well, if we go over, we know who's going to drown.
Yeah, true. All them diamonds weighing you down. I suppose then the biggest blow that you would have suffered would have been the compo that put you out of going to sea.
Yes, I was very unhappy about that because I loved going to sea, and I loved getting out on deck of a night. And I've taken some beautiful sunsets and sunrises, and one of my sons has picked one out and he's got that enlarged and on his wall.
Yeah, good. And what did the Seamen's Union and also the Maritime Union, how did that influence your life and that and affect you?
Well, the Seamen's Union, as I was married then, and that I was very, very strong with that. I can remember, I forget what ship it was. It was, the cooks were on strike.
Oh, yeah.
And I went and got bread rolls from the bakers. I got sausages and meat from the butchers. Yeah. And I was cooking up a storm, and Tommy Jones's wife, Gloria, rang me and she said, stop that bloody cooking and give it to the Salvation Army because the cooks have gone back. And that was in one of the journals, but that was the Seamen's Union then.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So I've always been, well, as my grandson always says when the Maritime Union comes on, Nan, here's your precious union. And I'm still active. I'm in the vets and all that.
That gets us into another question then about any disputes, shipboard or other, that you've participated in. And I noticed looking across there's a photo of you and some tall bloke, either that or you're such a short ass, he towers right over you. Bloke by the name of Peter Garrett. You want to tell us about that?
That was the Boeing dispute. Yeah. And I was always up there with them, and I'd take sausages and different things. I supported them all the way through, and so did a lot of the other MUA workers and my 2 sons. And Peter Garrett was up there, and
and for anyone who doesn't know Peter Garrett, ex-lead singer Midnight Oil, and now a federal politician, Labor politician.
And he said, "Come on, Chorpa," and I had my photo taken with him. Yeah.
And I think a few years ago you also come down to Melbourne and had a little bit to do with a do around there, didn't you?
Yes, the dispute,
the web doc dispute.
Web doc, and that I was down there for about a month.
Yeah,
cooking.
Yeah, and tell us about stop work meetings and the importance and that of stop work meetings and how over the years they've sort of.
Well, I think stop work meetings are very important. As I have said to a few seamen in the time, they're sitting in the pub or on board bitching.
Yeah.
And I've always said, well, the stop work meeting's the place to do that, not in a bar.
Yeah.
That's what I do think.
Yeah, no, that's right. And nowadays you can hardly find anyone at a stop work meeting. It's bloody ridiculous.
Right. And they used to be packed. I don't know what it's like in Melbourne now, but
same thing.
It used to be packed when I was down there.
Same. Lucky to get. Last couple of meetings we've just got a quorum and that's it.
We get a fair few at our vets.
Yeah.
I love the vets meeting. We get told so much there. It's political and otherwise.
Yeah, well, that's a question that's coming down the track, but I'll get to it now. Then how the vets and that, how are they going, and how big a movement are they up here?
Well, it's pretty big up here, and Freddie Krausen, mate, and Tommy Curfey.
Yeah.
I don't know where people would be without them 2 men.
Yeah,
because they are brilliant.
Because you just better go back a little bit and tell one of the founding members of the vets, because he unfortunately died.
And that was now my best mate,
Billy
Bodman.
Yeah.
Beautiful man.
Yeah, it was a...
I will not wear my vet's badge because Billy give it to me and I'm frightened I'll lose it.
Yeah.
So I don't wear it.
Yeah, he did a lot and for the vets and that, didn't he? Yeah.
And done a lot for Noosa, done a lot for the union.
Yeah.
He is irreplaceable. Nobody would ever be able to take Billy's place.
Yeah. I know that you was only a few years in the industry and that, about half a dozen, but how did the SRF and that affect you?
Well, what money I've got, it's still there.
Yeah.
I haven't taken it out. Haven't used it.
So it's still accumulating there, which is good, yeah. And at your time at sea, how did that going to sea affect your family life?
Well, the kids were all grown up and weren't at home,
yeah.
So there was just me at home here.
Yeah, right.
Now I've inherited the grandson, but he wasn't here then either.
Right. Now, just flipping back then to before to when you was married to a seaman, how did that affect the family life when you weren't going to sea?
Well, love, as I said as a joke, I gave Joey his union book for breakfast. I used to give Casey his union book for breakfast.
Time to go back to sea.
Well, I found that when he came home and he started chastising the kids, I sort of resented it. I thought that was just my role because I did it for so long while he was away. Yeah. You know, it's you just sort of get into the routine of him being home and then they're going back again. That's
right, yeah. That's a lot of them who I've talked to have said the same thing. You know, you just get into the role and that, yeah. And this is coming to the end, so it is a pretty quick one. This you're pretty right, Robyn. What do you think of the industry today?
Well,
what industry?
I better not say what I was going to say. Oh, I just don't think that. I think it should have still stayed as the Seamen's Union, or just a little bit different to how it is. And I don't think the new members are as staunched as the old ones. Yeah,
they've had everything virtually given to them on a plate.
That's right. All the old blokes fought for it, and you know, even my boys are. One's back at sea now, Heath, and Damien's, he works as a linesman. Yeah. And sort of Damien, it took a while to get him unionised. Yeah. Heath it didn't because he was taught by the best, and that was in Melbourne. Yeah. And now Heath is very union minded, but Damien's that way now himself. He's goes to all the meetings and
that's good.
put pamphlets out at voting time. And but it did take a little while because in his first job as linesman, the men there weren't as staunched as the ones that are here, where he is now. The new firm's just taken it over, so Hadstein had it.
Oh, yeah.
And he's with blokes like,
or whatever they're called,
he's with blokes like Bunny Dunn's son.
Oh, yeah.
Dunny, and mate, he is brilliant.
Yeah.
And Tommy Jones's boy Michael, he's got two good teachers there. Yeah. Which is good and pleased.
Yeah, I think I know Jonesy. I think I carried him for a couple of years. I've got to get this one in. I'll get in tomorrow when I do his too. Well, that's about it, Robyn. You got anything else you want to, anything statement you want to say? Anything else you want to?
Yes, there was a character I thought of, Johnny Scott from Kembla.
Oh yeah, geez, I haven't thought of him for years.
Johnny is would be the oldest AB on the coast. Yeah. Yeah, still there, still wearing his shorts and his thongs.
What's he on now?
He was on one of the gas tankers. Then he paid off that, and I forget the name of it.
Yeah, how old's he now?
Scotty. Yeah. Scotty be 60.
Billy Bodman beats Billy Dean beats him hands down.
Does he?
He beats him.
Well, he could be older.
78. He's 78. So yeah.
Yeah, well, he beat him there.
Yeah. So nothing else to say, or?
Oh, it's just yes. The last time I saw Scotty, my daughter had to go to Sydney, Louise. Yeah. This is a funny story, and we run into the boys and we're drinking with them in the bar. Yeah. Then Louise and I went up to our room and we're having cheese and bickies, and the phone rang and somebody said, "Are you girls all right up there?" We said yes. And Louise said, "I'm just talking to my mum and having a laugh and eating Jackson cheese." Anyway, the person said, "Oh, all right," and hung up. Then the next morning a man's knocked on our door and he said, "Are you girls all right?" And I said, "Yes, it's just my daughter and I here." And we couldn't work out why this person was concerned for us. So when we run into Johnny Scott the next night, we all went out for tea. It was the teacher that was there for the course they were doing. Oh, yeah. He thought we were in one of the boys' rooms. Yeah, right. And Scotty said, no, they had their own room. Yeah. He said, if you like, I'll bring them down here and they can tell you. He said, oh, no, don't bother. It'd be like being in a room with two rock wheelers. Because we snapped at him both times that he was querying us because we didn't know why he was querying us. Yeah. But, yeah, so Scotty had a good laugh about that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, then. Well, thanks for that, Robyn.
A lot of stories. But, I've been told I should write a book.
Maybe you should leave me out of it.
Yeah, about all the, the times with seamen and on the ship and everything. Yeah. But they mightn't publish it, so we'll forget it.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Right, Robyn, we were just talking about another sit-in that you said that you'd been involved with. Do you want to tell us what that was?
The Lake Brittain, but I can't actually remember what it was about. And we was on a sit-in in Sydney Harbour for a little while. And us girls went down and supported the guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's that was. I think it was there for a while.
How many of you went down to that?
I think there was 4 of us.
Yeah. Can you remember who else went down?
I'm sure Loz was one of them.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But she may
remember. Right. I have to check and see what the dispute was.
Yes, I can't.
Wasn't remember. When they were trying to get rid of the A&L ships, was it?
I think it could have been.
Yeah, right.
And also, I forgot about when we went down to Canberra.
Yeah.
And met with Simon Crean.
Oh, yeah.
There was Inga, Pat Patterson and I.
Yeah.
And we went down and met with Simon about the iron... the Andy.
Oh, yeah.
Was it the Andy? I had the T-shirt on the other day.
I don't know.
Yes, and we went down and met Simon Crean about that.
Yeah, right.
Not that it done any good. He said it wouldn't leave Australian waters, but as you know, it's left and it's back here all the time under its new flag. So
she's still manned by Aussies, isn't it?
No.
The Iron Yandy, isn't it?
Not the Yandy. The I've got in there. It starts with Y.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's husband was the bosun on it. Ingrid's husband was the bosun on it. Yeah, not the Yandy. Yandera.
Oh, yeah.
Yandera.
Okay. Okay, so we've worked that out now. It wasn't the Yandera.
It was the Yarra.
The Yarra River. Which is now the Stadacona.
Yes,
right,
it's always in our waters. Yeah, we went
along with the CSL Pacific, which was the old River Torrens.
Yes, we went down and met Ricky Newland. Teed all this up. Yeah.
Yeah.
They put us up in the motel and.
Yeah.
Yes, and we were down there for the day and the night.
Yeah, well, just before I came up here, I did a relief back at work for 3 days, 10 days ago. And one of the cement berths, the Stadacona was at, and the other berth, the CSL Pacific was at. Considering that they had no cargo from when they were manned with Australian ships, it's a fucking disgrace at the way they let them back on the coast.
That's right. So we're losing all our ships, and please, everybody, we've got to get Howard out.
That's right. I'll drink to that.
Yes, so a lot of good seamen we've lost, and a lot of good ships, and that'll just keep on happening if we just sit back and.
That's right.
We should have been protesting a lot long ago, longer than what we have, but
apathy.
Learn by our mistakes.
Yeah.
So, so I think that's all the disputes that I've been in, but whenever there's one, I'm always there. I was on the Boeing dispute. That's where I'm with Peter Garrett. That was up there, as I said before, and a lot of MUA workers
went up
done
there.
that. I've been up to the miners when they've had them up Singleton Way and all that, and then down Gwendolyn Way.
And did you, in the last state election, you did any with our young bloke we got up?
Yes, Robert Coombs got up. He was won by a fair bit too, which is good. We need someone unionised in there. But when I went to vote, I had my shirt on. Johnny Howard, you lying little bastard. And even a Liberal bloke. He just handing Liberal pamphlets out. He just laughed and laughed. My next door neighbour borrowed one of them. I've got two, and she wore it, and I wore mine. Wore the other one.
Good.
So I've got to stick it up them somehow.
That's right, mate. That's right.
So, well, I'll leave some tape for somebody else.
Now, what was the other committees you were saying that you was on to?
2 women's committees. I was on the women's committee with Elaine Brennan, Daphne Bodman, Gloria Jones. We used to have the best Christmas trees, and the presents the kids got, they were brilliant. That went for a lot of years, but then when the picket line was on, we formed another women's committee, but the women weren't as keen as what we were in our day, and it didn't last very long at all. Never even had a picnic day.
That's the same as Melbourne. It folded the women's committee down there too.
I used to go to the meetings for the women's committee down there as well. But no, it didn't last long at all. But our first women's committee, every year we had the Christmas tree out at Spears Point Park. But they were good, all staunch women. Quite a lot of women in it.
That's the same as I said as Melbourne. It went for a few years, quite a few years, and then they had really good ones in that there, and then just folded.
They I don't know, people just seem to be busy in their own lives now. They don't realise it's for their kids.
That's right. That's right.
So it's a shame. That's another era that's gone. You know, it's the women's committees.
That's right,
which is sad. But never mind.
Okie dokie.
We'll get there.
Right. Thanks for that, Rob.
Oh, yeah, it is worth mentioning that. You never know. Someone might down the track think,
As you were saying, Robyn, things that come to the air after the video gets turned and that off, and I suppose it's a bit remiss of myself too, because as you know, the both of us were there and held his hand when the big bastard died on us. So and we're talking about the one and only Freddie
Watson. I was at the picket line in Melbourne, and I said, Fred, you've got that truck thing there of yours with a mattress in the back. I'm sitting up here in the union car trying to have a sleep. I might get in there with you. He said, sorry, Rob, you can't. I said, why? He said, because you're past the use-by date.
Now, where we were just finishing talking about Fred. I think you were about to say the only one that could get away with it.
Yes, he was. The only one to get away with that. People, you know, when I say that and I laugh, they look at me as much as say, you know. But Freddie Watson could say anything and get away with it.
Yeah, big bugger.
Yeah,
as I said, we both held his hand when he died of cancer, the poor bastard.
Yes, good man.
Yeah.
Popeye, some people used to call him. I reckon he had arms like Popeye. Must have ate his spinach.
He's always a good backup when Dick and John needed someone there in the picket lines or something like that.
Yes, he was always there.
Where's Fred? Or in one of the marches, where's Fred? Yeah. And there's also another bloke we were a bit remiss on too. It was JB.
Yes, I can remember JB.
Johnny Burgess.
Very good man.
Yeah.
Very good man. One of my kids was in a bit of strife there once, and he come and put $50 in my hand, and when I went to pay it back, he wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
Said, "Don't insult me, Rob."
Johnny, yeah. See, he's been dead 4 years. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Good boy.